The purpose of this video is to provide an overview of the items that you will need to be able to compare and contrast for smooth and cardiac muscle. Let's begin with what is called striated muscle versus smooth muscle. These are micrographs taken from a compound microscope. Notice the lines running through this skeletal muscle fiber? Those are what we call striations. Hence, skeletal muscle is striated. In cardiac muscle, you can also see these striations. Hence, cardiac muscle is also striated. And finally, here is smooth muscle. There are no lines running through it, meaning no striations. Hence, smooth muscle is not striated, and that's why we call it smooth. The next item for comparison is whether or not the muscle is myogenic or neurogenic. Remember, break the word down. The suffix genic means producing, myo means muscle, and neuro means neuron. Now ask yourself, how is the contraction initiated? In other words, what causes the muscle to contract? Is it a neuron or is it the muscle itself? So let's take a closer look. Let's first discuss neurogenic muscles. So here's the motor neuron coming down to the muscle fiber, and it tells this skeletal muscle to contract. So this muscle is neurogenic. There's a neuron telling the muscle to contract. The neuron is what initiates the muscle contraction. So we know that skeletal muscle is neurogenic. There is also a type of smooth muscle called multi-unit smooth muscle that is neurogenic. So once again, neurogenic means the neuron stimulates the muscle to contract. Okay, now let's look at the image on your right. This image illustrates a myogenic muscle. Myo means what? Muscle, right? What you have here are muscle cells. If this muscle cell spontaneously depolarizes, that spreads to additional muscle fibers, and the end result is contraction of the muscle. So there is no neuron telling that muscle to contract. The cell spontaneously does it. In one of your laboratory exercises, you will hear your TA say that your frog is brain dead, but the heart still contracts. So is there a neuron telling the heart muscles to contract? No. The frog is brain dead. So this means that cardiac muscle is myogenic. There is also another type of myogenic muscle called single-unit smooth muscle. If you have one muscle cell that spontaneously depolarizes, so let's take this muscle cell here. We'll mark it with a red X. If this cell is going to depolarize, we want that depolarization to spread into the adjacent muscle fiber. How is that depolarization going to spread to that muscle fiber? What does it have to spread through? What does the cell require? Gap junctions. These cells have to have gap junctions. In cardiac muscle, this gap junction is part of this intercalated disc. The other part of the intercalated disc is the desmosome. So is a gap junction similar to a drinking straw? Yes, it is. So depolarization is spreading to the next muscle cell through the gap junction. And why does cardiac muscle also have these desmosomes? What's their function? It allows the muscle to stretch without tearing. So when you think about an intercalated disc contains both gap junctions and desmosomes, okay? But it is the gap junction that the depolarization is spreading through. So when the depolarization spreads from this muscle cell to this muscle cell, and then spreads to this muscle cell and to another, this allows the muscles to contract all at once. This is called a functional syncytium.